everybody, Joe Dog here. Welcome. What in the world? That's not right. Why is my picture acting this way? I'm not full screen anymore. I should be full screen. No? Okay. What has StreamYard done to me? Okay. All right, well, let me go ahead and bring. What the heck? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, StreamYard did an update and I wasn't aware of it. So, this is the way I should have come up full screen. Why I had the background of it's never
I,
done that before.
I, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Like you're the StreamYard guy.
Yeah. And they pulled some stuff on me. All right. But what we're doing is we're here to tell you about HallowCon, what HallowCon is, what HallowCon does, and some of the great things about it. First, most importantly, to go to HallowCon, you need a badge. And
Mhm.
pre-registration is $35 online on the website until October 1st. And that website is www.hallowcon.com. Also, while you're there, be sure to reserve your rooms. They're $75 a night and can be reserved by calling the Dalton Econo Lodge, 1507 North Tibbs Road, area code 706-226-9579. And the dates are October 28th through the 30th, and ask for the HallowCon room block. Also, for some people that don't understand it, you don't have to pay for your room right then and there. You pay when you check in. They charge your card at that time. So, but yeah, that's all that. We got some comments already in the room. Of course, Rob Brown showed up at 8:44, saying he's a bit early. Welcome, Rob. And of course, our uh, great author, Dan Hollifield, great friend for our other shows, who shows up. Donna Carlene's giving them the hello. Dan Hollifield saying hi. Hey, there's Carl Whitzman. And of course, all the other hellos. But the thing is, we have one thing we do is we talk about HallowCon. So I'm going to bring in somebody else who was a past guest at HallowCon and will be a guest again this year, and let him sing the praises of how we treat people, some of the great things that happen at HallowCon, and some of the stuff that we could do. So we'll bring in Brian K. Morris. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All right. So let me ask you this. We ask all of them. What was your first impression when you walked up to HallowCon?
My first impression was an incredibly positive one because we had just found the hotel after a nearly 10-hour drive coming from central Indiana. And then we drive up the great big hill, and we're grateful it wasn't in the winter. And then
Yeah.
pulled into the parking space. Hadn't even my wife Cookie and I had barely gotten out of the car when John Scarborough comes running out of the building and says hello, hugs, handshakes, etc., and then starts taking our stuff into the building. And the friendliness level just went up from there. So it was of course I know John from Stupid O'Clock, which
Yes.
is on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Saturday nights. Hashtag
And
talking with your friends.
we got a request to up some
Up what?
volume. Your volume is
Oh,
down.
I am having trouble with my microphone. Hold on here. I don't know what it is, so I'll just talk louder. I know how to project.
Okay. Yeah, because
So
I've got you wide open on the broadcast side. So
okay, sounds good. And if I need to yell some more, I will yell.
all right.
Lord knows I know how.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
actually the living PA system for several conventions. They don't rent a microphone because they know that my voice will carry from one end of the auditorium to the other. So
okay. And for everybody tuning in, this little QR code up here gives you a link to our website. So you can, that way, if you don't, if you're watching online on your laptop or your desktop computer, pull your phone out, scan that code, and it'll take you directly to the HallowCon website.
Definitely.
Uh, of course, what was some of the things that were most memorable to you about HallowCon?
Um, well, one thing I really enjoyed was the fact that a lot of conventions are the minute the dealer's room closes, the show is pretty much over for the day. But
Yeah,
there were things to do that night, every night that we were there. Uh, Always somebody new that maybe that I knew online, but
yeah,
hadn't had a chance to talk to them extensively. Um, and Also, folks, if you budget for food, don't worry about it. My diet was calling Amnesty International that weekend because it was not being very well taken care of as far as moderation. Um,
it
I
wasn't lack of food; it was an abundance.
It was an overabundance, and what I really enjoyed also was the fact that Sunday was leftovers. Now I'm a leftovers kind of guy,
Yeah.
and and the thing is, the food was amazing. I do hope our barbecue person will be there again.
Yes, yes.
She was
Megan will be back.
amazing. Megan, oh
Megan.
my God, I'm about to establish a church of Megan because she's so amazing. But no, there was all kinds of great activities. Um, During the show, not just people coming up to our booths and saying hi, and and all the various great conversations. And another thing that was really fun for me last year on a personal level, aside from getting to hang around with you and Skunk and the rest of
Yeah.
the crew, was got to give a shout out to former guest Bobby Nash, who drove up from Atlanta
Yeah.
and just to say hello to me, say hello to you, of course,
Yeah.
and then I had a panel that afternoon, and he sat in with me on it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so that was quite it was really terrific of Bobby to do that, and
Well,
definitely
Bobby's a great guy.
he
I
really
can't
is.
wait to have him back. Of course, I'm handing the. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm handing programming over to Chris Walker next year.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah,
So
Chris is great.
so I can concentrate more on the business side.
I get that.
But yeah, I really hope we get Bobby back. Uh, what did you think when he just walked around the corner and there?
That stunned me because I wasn't expecting him. Because I recognize that since I do a lot of shows, and I do a lot of shows that are not exactly next door to where I
Yeah,
live. Obviously I drove down to Dalton, Georgia without a second thought. But I regularly do shows that are 5 or 6 more hours away, and but I don't impose that standard on other people.
yeah,
And it's like you traveled more than 2 blocks. Wow, that's cool of you. But the fact that Bobby drove 90 minutes or more to get out
yeah.
there and say hello to me, that meant a lot to me. That really did.
And for people wondering, how far from Atlanta are you? We are 90 minutes from the Atlanta airport.
Hmm.
So if you're from out of way out of state and you want to come to Alicon, fly to Atlanta, rent you a car. 90 minutes from the time that you get in your car, you're pulling in the driveway.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it's a lovely facility. The hotel is
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Well, you're in for a big surprise then.
Uh oh.
I can't. That's all I'm going to say about that. Uh, but yeah, let me go ahead and pull that down. There. Uh, um, I think yeah, that's probably skunk on the mouse clicks.
Those are my elderly
Yeah.
bones, Rob.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah,
heart valves.
Skunk's actually still probably working on stuff for the convention right now. Uh, he's our ace. Well, speaking of Ace, there's Ace Bonnie.
Ace.
Uh, so, how did you like that? Once the dealer's room shut down, all you authors were still able to set up and probably made more sales after the dealer's room closed than while it was open.
Yeah, we made a few sales. That was nice, but it's always a lot of fun when the creative people get together and just sit and jaw. And it did not hurt that we were all friends to start with. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's always a good time, and we talk to each other frequently online, but there is just nothing that substitutes for face to face.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like a really terrific weekend. I'm not just saying it because you guys are here. I hope I made it very clear that I had a good time last year, and I was very pleased with the expedition, and just the fact that Cookie is letting me come back.
Well,
There's
that's
your
is
proof.
something.
Yeah. It's like we had to drive 10 hours to get there. That was the going down part of it. But when we were coming back, she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to work this into our schedule next year. We're gonna have to make sure." And working the schedule is basically me not booking myself somewhere else. So.
Yeah. Uh, so I think we surprised her with all the food that was presented.
Yes, and also, and I got to give you a shout out for this: the fact that my wife unfortunately has numerous sensitivities or outright
Yeah,
allergies to various foods, some of which are very common, unfortunately. But you guys went above and beyond in accommodating her.
that's
We had done a show back in 2019, and I won't mention the show, but it was like in the other direction of the country. A book show where they asked us our sensitivities, our allergies to various foods. Yes, Ace, she did sign it. She did, and she will be giving me a couple extra feet on the leash this year, just because I was so good last year. But anyway, this one, I was convinced this venue had taken all of the list of allergen foods and given her doubles on them. So she was basically this weekend was that particular weekend was not one where she was overly fed, and one of the first things I had to do was overtake her to a restaurant where she could get some food.
you
So,
know.
but this was the exact opposite. This was terrific, and everybody behind the counter was very accommodating, and just an absolute joy.
Yeah.
I do not have any. I don't think I have any negative things to say about the show at all, to be honest. So.
Well, except that guy that runs it was a total jerk.
Yeah, but I can put up with him. I ain't worried about him because I'll just stick my wife on him.
Yeah.
And it's done. It's done. So
Um, now, you were talking about how whenever you needed anything, it was pretty much handled instantly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you were running around like you should have been on roller skates, and then all you had to it's like it's like Shazam. You call out the magic word skunk, and there he was in all his glory. Kudos to this guy here. He was always on the job. You know,
Or Chris.
or Chris. Yeah, definitely Chris. Yeah, Chris is another guy that is just a ball of light and constantly on the move and constantly making sure everything was nailed down, everything was fine. So you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
kudos to the two.
I'm gonna tell you the secret. If you ever
Okay.
noticed, I would do this.
Hmm.
You'd ask me something, I'd do this, and I was looking for those two.
Yeah.
So whoever I saw first got called.
There you go. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, and usually we knew that Skunk was like right outside one doorway or another.
Yep.
So
And Rob goes laughing out loud, Skunk in all his glory. Yeah, Rob, I'm going to tell you right now, Skunk has grown up to be a great guy because he was a kid when we started dealing with him at conventions, and he has grown and matured and does a great job at his positions with HallowCon. I hats off to him.
Thank
I'm
you.
very I'm very
I
proud.
appreciate that.
I'm very proud of him.
Should be. Should be. He did a great job. He really did.
I appreciate that, guys. I do. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Yeah, and all the music that you hear, Skunk is responsible for that. Yeah, other than when a performer's up there, the regular background ambiance music, that's Skunk. That's all Skunk.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I got to credit with Skunk, I'm one of those people. I've suffered enough hearing damage that I don't need any more. And Skunk knew the right level for everything. It wasn't like he was trying to rewrite our DNA sonically or anything. It was like
Yeah,
the right tone for the right number of people in the room. So yeah, expert work there.
yeah.
Seriously.
And yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Brian, that sound system that we've got could fill a room 3 times the size of that.
I I bet it could. It looked pretty impressive. I was looking for the little switch that you move up and down and make everybody teleport from one place to the other.
Yeah.
So
Um, well, I'll tell you what I did with that sound system when as you call it, the what was that?
the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter Pandemic, yes.
When that first hit, I had a good recording of somebody playing Amazing Grace on bagpipes,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and every Sunday night at sunset, when the pandemic first started. I mean, I did it for about a month and a half.
Hmm.
We did played the. I played that, set up the sound system, and played that. Well, Skunk can understand when I say my entire neighborhood heard it. The people behind us heard it. Over a quarter mile away, they heard it like it was being played on their front porch.
Uh-huh. The airport called to ask you to tone it down because they couldn't hear the planes taking off. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's very cool. Very cool. Yes, and I was also treated last year to the dulcet tones of one Mr. John B. Pica.
Yes.
We've got one impressive set of pipes, let me tell you.
Oh, yes. Uh, we're working. As you saw, I do something special at HallowCon to just really put some punch in. This year is going to be probably one of the most moving and touching that we've ever done.
Wow.
I'm not going to say what it is.
I'm prepared to be
It's,
surprised.
but it's. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Sounds good. Well, what was it? We had the proposal last year. That
Oh
was pretty
yeah,
fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
totally had everybody off on that. Nobody knew what. Everybody's going, okay, Joe's up to something, but what is it?
Yes.
I
There's
mean,
some.
that's the thing is that we always know Joe's up to something. And it's the question isn't what is it. The question isn't is Joe up to something. It's what is he up to now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to tell.
That's kind of the baseline that you operate by, and I understand that too.
Oh yeah, there've been many a times they look at me going, "Oh crap, he's giggling. It's too late."
Oh.
Yeah, Skunk knows when I giggle, it's up. The pin's pulled. We're just waiting for it to go off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
That's true.
that was the fun thing is that you were doing a lot of that when I was there last year, and every time I thought I was gonna be done for the evening, Brian, come over here. I need we're gonna do this thing. Yeah, I hang around. So
And unlike like you said, unlike other conventions, when the dealer's room closed, the show's over. No,
No,
we're
we're
just
just
getting
starting.
started.
It's warming up then. Seriously, yeah. Saturday night, I remember like the we had the proposal. I believe it was Saturday night,
Yeah.
and then a couple other things going on. Of course, the dinner, and then then there was music and people walking around, plus extra food coming in. It was just a really really fun time, and my poor non-partying spouse had already gone to the room expecting I'd be back, and then about 3.5 hours later, I did finally walk in, but uh, it it was just one good time after another, and it's not like if anybody's expecting this bacchanal that you can tell where we're at because of the police sirens. It's not that kind of thing. It's
No.
very very measured, but it's
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun. It's just people getting together, talking, getting to know each other, having a good time, and what's better than that? I'm looking at Dan Hollifield's slander there. There we go.
Light the blue touch paper, stand well back.
Go
That's
back.
Joe Dog. Yeah. Uh, Now, when you showed up, I hope you didn't get in any trouble with Cookie because you were out late having fun and all that. And
No, she knew that I had adult supervision, or at least I convinced her I had it because it was you guys, and I think you lulled her into a false sense of security in that regard. But
okay.
yeah, but no, I did not get in any trouble. In fact, in fact, I don't get in trouble with her because I tell her everything I do, no matter how stupid or ridiculous it may be. I tell her everything I'm up to, and by then it's too late. She can't do anything about it. Rob,
Oh,
I would love that, brother. I'm seriously. Like I said, Rob and I worked on a comic book story, and Rob is. I can't tell you. Well, I can tell you, I was a fan of his from like the '90s when he worked at Marvel Comics. And then I found that he has done a plethora of amazing things for like Chaos Comics and other publishers, and his talent has taken this incredible turn where he's taking on the best of not only people classics like Jack Kirby, but also Bernie Wrightson and Frank Frazetta and Bernard Kriegston. Yes, I'm a comic book freak, people. But his style has evolved into something just absolutely magical. And I'm looking forward to the day when Rob and I do another collab sometime soon. I
okay.
would love it if you showed up, Rob. I really
Yeah.
would. That'd be
Well,
great.
Brian, actually, I've got something here to show you.
Oh my goodness, yes, I know that one. Yeah.
Well, one,
Well, yeah, he did the whole story, but yes, I know that's spread there. It's from
well,
the
there,
Haunting Tales of Bachelor's Grove #2 from Silver Phoenix Entertainment.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I've got 4 pages of it.
Do you now? Oh,
Yes.
lucky dog.
And that one,
Yeah.
page number 3,
Uh huh.
and that is page number 4.
Yes.
That was sent for to show your to show you
Oh,
from
nice.
Rob,
Thank you, Rob. You're the best.
which is Rob does great artwork.
He really
Uh,
does.
I may actually have to talk to him if he shows up this year. I'm working on theme for next year. If he shows up, I would definitely like to make Rob my artist of distinction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would
Uh,
be totally worth it. Yeah.
we had
Totally.
Jeffrey Hayes lined up, but I guess, health issues held him back. So
Yeah. Yeah. But
we, but yeah, Rob, the I'm gonna tell you now. I would like to invite you to do our artwork for 2023.
I second that.
And
And what's
Brian, you know my theme is baby dolls this year.
okay? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We had the world's longest yard sale come through. If you've heard of that,
Yes, I
the
have. I
127.
have some friends that attend that. Yeah.
Uh, let's just say I've got roughly $100 of dolls less than $3.
Wow. Very
Of course, I
cool.
did. I did buy two that were a little more than that for the decorations: a Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy.
Oh my God, that is incredible. Now, here's why. Years ago, Cookie and I lived in Illinois,
Yeah,
and we found out. I think it's open now only by appointment, but we lived north of a place called Arcola, Illinois, which is at the heart of our local Amish country, and
yeah.
that was where Johnny Gruelle, who created Raggedy Ann and Andy, was from, and
Ah,
they had the museum for Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy there, and I go in because I hadn't looked at that stuff when I was since I was like single digits,
yeah.
the time the Earth was cooling. And but the thing is, they had things like they recreated Johnny Gruelle's original art studio, and it was run by his granddaughter, who is now the official artist of the Raggedy Ann franchise.
Ah,
And they showed a video of they had a Raggedy Ann convention in Tokyo, I believe it was, and it looked like San Diego Con. I
hmm.
mean, it was a mob of people cosplaying as Ann and Andy and just loving all over the Gorels and everything. And it was just, really impressive. Cookie and I walked away from this, we're fans. And so, yeah, I dig that. I dig that the Raggedy Ann and Andy angle.
And your Bachelor's Grove story
Yes.
puts you sort of on the paranormal side, right?
Yep. Hmm.
And you remember there was a movie out about a doll here a few years ago
Oh, yeah.
called Annabelle.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you know what the real Annabelle was?
No, I don't.
A Raggedy Ann.
Ooh. I like this.
See the grin?
I see
See
it.
the grin?
I see, yeah. I'm loving it.
Yeah, all that area, those shelves in behind the bar,
Yeah. Hmm.
will have dolls.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That's gonna be great.
You know me, I don't. If I do it halfway, I didn't do it right.
Yeah, too much is not enough for you, and I approve of that. So in fact, I encourage it. I endorse it. And I see down there, Rob has accepted your offer, sir.
Oh well, thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Yes. Also, and for guests that are wanting to apply to come to HallowCon next year or whatever, do you remember your guest packet?
Hmm.
Was it? How does it compare to other guest packets you've received?
Well, of course, the vast majority of the conventions I do are like, what guest packet?
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I've got to say that Joe Dog put in a personalized note, not just in mine, but in everybody's guest packet. And I couldn't read it in one sitting because Joe poured out his heart to me in that thing. And it touched that black little lump that I do call a heart. It was, and I really appreciate your opening up like that, Joe. I really
Yeah.
do. But there was a lot of cool stuff in there. So, but that was the treasure for me.
And one of my favorite things that I love out of the guest packet is making up the guest banquet invitations.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right. That's right. And that reminds me. I do want to again thank you for including Cookie
Yes.
because she is part of Team Rising Tide, and I would not be where I am, such as it is, without her.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
that's
didn't have to, but you did, and I love you
yeah.
for it.
Well, that's something we do for the guest of honor if they have their spouse.
Hmm.
Of course, this year
We'll work it
we,
out.
we'll work it out. Yeah, but I'll make where I'm definitely eyeballing the ribs at Sam's right now.
Ooh, ooh.
Prices are starting to break. Thank God.
Oh, that's good. Cool.
Uh,
Well, anyway, I think everybody also ought to take a couple laps around that that grill that you've got outside. it is just this side of weaponizing food. It is an amazing piece of engineering, and the yield from that is beyond impressive. So,
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to show you something, Brian, you haven't
okay,
seen.
okay,
Uh, I've got you. Grillzilla has had a little upgrade.
oh my God, it was about on the verge of being able to be seen from space,
Well, it's been upgraded just a little bit now.
just a little. Yeah, I'm sure.
Um,
Just a little probably means it has sentience now.
where are you at? There you are. Okay. Uh, there we go.
Yeah. Ooh.
Uh, over here, let me get to this side. Can you see my cursor? Is it showing up?
Yes, it is. Yes. I see
Over
that.
here is where the stove area was.
Right. Yeah.
That is now a 36-inch flat top griddle.
Oh, cool.
The stove area is moved to the back now.
Hmm.
We got a new wing there for to keep the people dry for when it rains.
Uh huh.
And over here on the grill side, all these grates have been replaced with brand new stainless steel grates.
Ooh, nice.
There's been a lot of work done to her. It's been cleaned, deep cleaned.
Uh huh.
Everything's ready to go.
I'm seeing a lot of shiny there. That good work, brother. That's great.
So yeah, that's what. Of course, yeah. Dan, there's Dan going Grillzilla. Of course, Rob was around when Grillzilla was built.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So Rob can probably already look at it going, "Oh my goodness."
It's yeah. Grillzilla now has its own area code.
Yeah. Oh, I can zoom in.
Oh, there you go.
That
Ooh,
way you can
yeah.
see a lot better. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's lovely. You have done some work on that.
Yeah. She now takes 4 propane bottles to run.
Imagine that. Yeah.
So it's set up.
That's lovely. That is lovely.
Rob goes, "Oh yeah, it looks amazing." Yeah. Uh, she is a solid. She's all metal now. Very well built. But yeah, we're proud of Grillzilla.
You should be. That's quite a work of engineering there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Uh, Skunk.
Mm-hmm.
You did some work for Brian, haven't you? Some
Yes.
video work.
My countdown
Um,
clock.
the countdown clock. Yeah.
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 I love
Explain.
gold
You two
standard.
talk about that for just a second. My wife is hollering at me. I've told her I'm going to be on the air, but I got to go see what my wife needs real quick. It's just going to take me a second. I'll be right back.
Fair enough.
All
Fair
right.
enough. Well, for those who don't know, I used to do a show called Never Mind the Furthermore, and I still do a show on Thursday nights called Comic Book Spectrum. And I got tired of seeing every show start out with the usual StreamYard bubble up sort of intro countdown clock, I guess it is. And I just made a mention one day about how I'd like to see something unique that I could call my very own. And this man here did an amazing job and just dropped it on my lap. It's basically takes my graphic of me and the fez and the glasses and found some unique um, music, countdown music for it. And at 10 seconds, there is a
I
voice.
wrote that. I didn't
Yeah.
find it. I wrote that music.
Oh, that's right, you did. I forgot. Sorry, man. But yeah, it's wonderful music. And then what was the voice calling out 10 seconds?
Oh, that's from the arcade game Smash TV.
That's it. That's it.
Because I
Yeah.
always loved that it was because it's an announcer voice.
Mhm.
And I already had it saved on the computer, and I was like, you know what, that's perfect. That'll give people the heads up for this is about to come to an end, and we're about to get the show going. And I think it's just kind of a goof. And I was glad when people immediately. I thought was it Brian Rodman, I think, was the
Uh-huh.
first person to go, "Isn't that from Smash TV?"
Yes, that's right. He identified it. That was
I think
so
it was
cool.
Brian Rodman. I can't remember who
That
exactly
sounds
it was,
right.
but I was so happy that somebody knew what it was from.
Well, it's kind of funny then when we do shows, and of course, you see like those of us who run the boards on StreamYard shows, we have these little windows down at the base of the big screen here where we can see into the feeds that are
Hmm.
going in. And every now and then, and I do it too to get fired up before to get my energy level up. At that point, and to look at other people doing the same, going, So, but yeah, it's a great piece of peppy music, and eternal thanks for that, man. That is just so darn cool. I love it. I really do. And everyone that's heard it loves it too. So if you need great videos, talk to this guy.
And great
I'm
video.
yeah, I would love to take on more work, but at the moment, like I've got like 8 billion things going on. I'm behind on a lot of
That's
stuff.
not my concern. It's going to take care of my people. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and one Brian, and one great thing about it, it can't be copyright claimed.
No, that's true. That's exactly right. And I have had people try. But of course, we shoot them out of the water every time. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's seriously tune into any of my shows and you'll see that countdown clock. I am so very proud of that thing. So really love it. And again, as always, thank you very much, Skunk.
Oh, no problem.
All right. So, Brian, you said you told me earlier that you were considering maybe coming down a week early.
At least a few days, yeah, because of course, the minute you walk into this place, you get told about all the stuff you haven't seen yet in the area, and that's the thing for somebody like me that does a lot of shows. Usually, we leave the house, we go straight to the venue, and then maybe to a motel or wherever, and then back home, and we don't see a whole lot of the community. But you guys were talking to me about. Like the one restaurant with the lazy Susan tables.
Bees Restaurant,
Bees,
yes.
yeah, I've got a video. I've got their video up on my this computer here because I'm gonna like go through and make some notes of where we got to go. And then I think you sent me a link to what is it? The joys of like the sights of Chattanooga.
Oh yeah, that video, yeah, that
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
you got to
Um,
see, the Ruby Falls, the
yeah.
Incline,
hmm Yeah, Cookie and
Rock
I've got.
City.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rock City since I was about 8 years old.
It hadn't changed one bit.
I'm sure. That's funny because
I was
what
just
was it?
thinking that, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, it's like years ago. I think I was about 8 or 9 when my parents took me to the Mark Twain caves outside of Hannibal, Missouri, and
Ah,
they had like a script, of course, as they're leading you through the caverns. And then we went back. This would have been about 10-ish years ago, and I could almost move my lips to the script that they were using. That it had not changed in 50 years. I found that greatly amusing.
also, if you know you're going to be down early,
Yeah.
please let me know so I can.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I'm going to pull a few favors for the Tennessee Aquarium too.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Hearing about some of the stuff that's going on, like the aquarium and all. Um, Cookie and I will probably have a shopping list of places we want to go, so that'll be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to sightseeing for a bit, and then a leisurely drive home. So, and of course, we'll be bringing Calgon,
Oh, the your van.
our new van, yes, or a mobile motel. Um, and no, we don't have the big sign saying free candy on the side. That's usually for the Iowa places. But anyway, but
I'm
no,
gonna tell you right now, I'm more excited about that more than anything else. I want to see this van.
it's a work in progress, Skunk. But we are already so very proud of it, and we have. For those of you who don't know, of course, we call it Calgon because of the old commercials. Calgon, take me away, and it's for day trips. It's for our book shows, etc. And over the last, we've owned it now for just a little shy of 6 months. We can now survive in this thing at 40 degrees and higher. We slept one night in like near 40-degree weather up near Chicago last spring, and we were perfectly comfortable. About the only thing we still have to work out is the waste removal part, which is why we've got to park someplace like that has a toilet. Which is why I want Walmart to start opening up to 24-hour a day, again, because then we
Yes.
can go in and get stuff we need in the middle of the night, and we'd have a clean place to do our business, as we would say discreetly. But no, we've got sleeping apparatus in there. I sleep on the floor, and I've got some sleeping bags to make it comfortable. She sleeps in a hammock. And every time we go in someplace, I'm always looking for something to make it just a little cooler. Plus, we can put our show stock in there. Um, even though this thing has a 31-gallon gas tank and gets 15 miles on the to the gallon on the open road, it is still cheaper than staying at a lot of hotels these days. But not the motel at HallowCon, which if you go to hallowcon.com and reserve your room, be sure to ask for the HallowCon block. Hashtag always promote.
Yeah, because the rooms are only $75 a night,
That's a steal.
which is
Yeah, yeah,
uh, we actually figured it out that there are some conventions in the region that that two people can come stay at HallowCon for the whole weekend cheaper than one person can attend the convention.
yeah. I will vouch for that. I attended a show this year where the rooms, because they know they could get it, they were charging like somewhere around 325 to 350 a night, and we're not exactly talking the Hilton here. Which is one of the reasons we got Calgon. So
Yeah, just make sure you have a friend in the hotel so you can take a shower.
yes, well, you'd be amazed how good handy wipes can do.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. Well, there's also campgrounds.
That's true. That's true. We haven't done that so far. Um, and this is kind of funny because neither of us are really campers. To paraphrase my mother-in-law, our idea of roughing it is staying in a motel where the restaurant isn't attached. So we're not exactly wilderness people. So
I gotta tell you, staying in a hotel where a restaurant is attached is too nice.
yeah,
Even if the restaurant, even if you can't get to the restaurant from the lobby of the hotel,
right,
if you don't have to leave the parking lot,
yeah,
it's too nice. I remember staying in a hotel in Huntsville back when I used to work for CoinMock, and there was a Waffle House.
ooh,
And so it was like I literally could just be like, I don't have to go anywhere else because Waffle House is right there. I'm going to
yeah,
Waffle House.
yeah,
Didn't have to do anything. It's like if I got up at especially 24-hour restaurants even better because if I got up in the middle of the night didn't feel good, I'm like I need something greasy. I'm going to Waffle House.
exactly,
Right before I
exactly.
left, for my route that day, you know what? I'm going to Waffle House. I'm going to get breakfast and don't have to worry about nothing. I could get up at 6. I had to leave by 8. I get up at 6, go to Waffle House. When we had the one time, and this was back before Joe ran HallowCon. HallowCon was at a Best Western in Chattanooga that had a cafe attached.
Ooh,
Right, and it was a 24-hour diner.
oh, nice.
City
So,
Cafe.
yep,
Ooh,
and so that was super nice. And I've stayed at that hotel a few times for other events, and it's just really nice to just again, you don't have to leave the property to go get good food.
mm-hmm.
It's amazing, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
Um, Whenever I've stayed at a hotel that didn't have a restaurant directly attached, and I wasn't at a convention like ours that provides really good food, yeah, I feel it is suffering. It's like I don't want to leave the hotel, but I'm
Yeah.
so hungry.
Oh God, I feel you, man. I totally feel
That's
you.
one of the reasons why HallowCon does what we do, man, with the food. We want to make sure that, if you absolutely positively are just you're craving a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's and you want to go across the street and get one, that's cool. You go do that. We do provide food though. We provide good food.
And lots of it, and lots of good food. Because I am firmly convinced that the further south you go, the better the food gets. So
it breaks off at a point. It breaks off at a point.
Yeah, I can see where it would, but
yeah,
you're in
about a quarter of the way into Florida.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I will say, except Miami.
Okay, I've not been there.
Because the Cuban population in Miami, you get some good Cubanos down there. So and then you got, of course, the Haitians and the Jamaicans in the area. So you get a lot of good jerk chicken and stuff like that. Miami's got some good food. But yeah, no, I was in Pasco County for the Florida Bug Jam with my family, and let me tell you, you could, if you didn't go to a fast food restaurant, you were in trouble. Any of the tourist trap places that you went to, the food was awful, god awful.
Well, that was one of the things that convinced Cookie and me. We don't like traveling on the interstates that much. We'd rather take a couple extra hours and go like on a state route, because we went to Florida back in 2000, I think it was. We had a long story short, a sweetheart deal with local condo down there and passes to like the theme parks, but we were bored with all the trees on I-95. It was driving us nuts. And so we pulled off and went into this Cajun place where it was just absolutely heavenly. And since then, we have been big proponents of going off on the state routes and going to places that we can't get locally, going to places we've never heard of that sounds enchanting. In fact, we had on the way back from HallowCon last year, I can't remember offhand where it was, but it was this beautiful, it was a lovely little buffet, probably about 2 or 3 hours north of you guys, on I-75, just off it actually. But wonderful selection of food, and you can tell there wasn't a preservative to be found. It was just amazing food there. So.
Okay, are you planning on pulling a Carl and Donna and staying over Sunday night, or are you gonna leave on Sunday?
Well, after we talked last year, I'm probably gonna stay later than I did this year, because we frequently take a day to recover, and since I don't have a show on Mondays anymore, I can probably stay a little later. We will discuss this, sir. I promise we will discuss this thing. If you'll have us.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've dealt with conventions before. They have, the party, the night of setup.
Right.
We call that the new puppy. And then after the convention, there's the dead dog.
Right.
The dead dog party.
Yeah.
Well, little did you know that after the dead dog and all the other people have gone, we have the wake.
Oh, do tell.
I will not be able to partake in the wake this year.
Oh, yeah, understood.
But let's just say I had quite a bit of fun, and you can ask Dan and Chris about that.
I'll wait for the incriminating videos.
I don't think there was video. There was an incriminating text, but there wasn't an incriminating video.
On this computer, I have a picture of you with that incriminating text under it.
Yes.
That's become the stuff of legend.
Yeah. Got no clue what I was trying to say.
I'm, that thing should have come with subtitles. I mean, I've run that thing through Rosetta Stone, and I just can't find any sort of translation. So,
But I can't do that anymore, which is a shame.
yeah. Well, if I have to pick up your slack, I'm willing to do it because we're friends. That's kind of
Oh
how I
yeah.
am. You're welcome, man. No problem. I'm here for you.
Oh, but where was I going? There was one more thing I wanted to. Oh shoot, I can't.
You'll
What?
think of it at 3 o'clock this morning. That's when these
Oh,
things work.
oh yeah. Is there any other things that stood out with you about HallowCon? Some of the events we did, or
Wow. Well, I hate to sound like a broken record, and I hate to also sound like I'm waxing your car, like I'm trying to be set up for next year. Um, but this was one of the most amazing times I've had at a show. And it helps that I had so many good friends there before I got there. You, Skunk, Dan, John, Lewis, and getting to meet Stephanie. She's amazing, and other people there. And then bringing our own like Carl and Don and Michaela, um, and John. It was just like just from the time we got in there, from the time we pulled into the lot to the time we left, however reluctantly, uh, it was probably our favorite show of the year. We had a wonderful time, and you hear this so much as kind of a cliche, but it had a family feel to it. It
yeah,
it felt like it wasn't like you're just a vendor or you're just what fill in the blank. It was like everybody was on a first name basis with everybody, and that's the way it should be. Um, it
and
was just a really fun, festive atmosphere, um, and well organized. Um, it was just like it was just a glorious time. It really was, and I encourage everyone to please come out to HallowCon, because I guarantee if you don't have a good time, it's your fault. You know?
if you leave hungry, it's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
There's nobody starved that weekend. Believe me.
uh, I can't remember, Skunk. Did Brian also judge that game?
Which game?
The game. The game Halcon has become for.
The Are you talking about the pumpkin chunkin?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
I don't think he
Oh,
did.
you
I know.
didn't?
No,
I
I didn't.
thought you did.
No, no.
Okay, I guess it was just TD that came down.
Must have been.
But you sat and watched that, did you?
I. God, I'm trying to remember if I did or not.
It's one where we were throwing stuff at each other like a duel.
Oh yes, yes, I do remember that now. Yes, that was quite lively. I like when people throw things at each other. That's fun to watch. No, but that was a good time. That was a good time. It all was a good time, and just one happy surprise after another for me. So, uh, like I, and again, I'm not saying this to get on anyone's good side because God knows I don't worry enough about that. But it was a great time. The worst part of it was leaving because we had such a good time, and
That's a sign of a good convention.
oh yeah, seriously, and a lot of hugs exchanged at the end, which is another good sign. Um, there's just a lot to love about HallowCon. I mean, if you come down expecting like a C2E2 or a Chicago Con or a Dragon Con, this ain't it. It is a relaxicon. It is where you kick back. It is low pressure for everyone, and the ambiance that's what's to go down there for, and to make friends and to you know talk with people you know already, and just relax and have a good time. So
But I don't know if you noticed, I treated the attendees as well as I treated the guests and the vendors.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely, I'll vouch for that. Yeah, yeah, and it wasn't, I was the guest of honor last year, but um, Joe treated me like this. What J. Michael Jasinski calls something like the prince of another land. I got the royal treatment, but then so did everyone else, which was really nice. So, and I think everyone knew that if they had any sort of issue, that they could go to you or Skunk or whomever and get it taken care of, which is also a good thing. That people were accountable. People could find who could fix the problem. And you don't always see that at a lot of shows. And I've got horror stories about where you can't find people after a certain point. So
Yeah. Well, we are about 4 minutes from winding down. So now's the most important thing. It's time for Brian K. Morris to tell us how we can find what he does and all that.
well, unaccustomed as I am, Joe, thank you very much. You can go to risingtide.pub, your place on the internet for all things BKM, where you can link up to my broadcasting on YouTube. You can see all the books I have for sale, as well as being on Amazon. You can look there for my name. And also you can sign up for my free monthly newsletter, which goes out around 5:15 Eastern every first of the month. But otherwise, you can find me on Amazon, various places. Well, who am I? Well, I'm glad you asked that. I am a freelance hybrid author. There's my bestseller, Santa Sign. I'm also a freelance editor on comic books and books, an award-winning author for this book here, Snow Shorts, published by Bobby Nash. Please check it out on Amazon. And a Facebook famous YouTuber and former mortician's assistant. Also, we work for other people in various capacities. Plus, here's Joe. I have what could be a scoop for you. I have a new book that I'm working on right now called The Terrors. It's a World War II era adventure, very pulp, very comic book like. We are hoping to have the book premiere at HallowCon. So that's what we're working towards. But
That
otherwise,
sounds
yeah.
that
So
sounds awesome. Of course, Dan also chimed in with he liked how the hotel staff would take extra efforts to make sure that the guests were pampered too.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
unlike other conventions, we have a hotel that wants us there.
Yes, yes. In fact, I just talked with somebody who went to a Chicago area hotel, which has a national reputation, and let's just say that my friend was not treated very well there at all, except by a couple of people there. But when they've got a huge staff and they can't take care of their guests, that's not good. And I'm pleased, and I think you'll like it, Rob. I really do think you'll like it. Now, and I hope you can make it. I really do, man.
Yeah,
It's good to talk to you, man. It really is.
it'll be great. Have you ever met Rob in
No,
person?
no. I hadn't met
Okay,
Bobby Nash in person until last year at HallowCon.
okay. See, Brian, that just tells you how great we are that people meet people that they've done business with for years.
I know. I know. It was a thrill. It really was, and kudos to Bobby for making the trek. And and all the the stupid clock people and everybody. And Rob, like I said, Rob, if you can make it, I would sincerely love it. I would love to sit down and talk with you for days and days on end.
All right, Carl. Good night. Of course, we got to wrap it up. It is
Mm-hmm.
59. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will see all of y'all at Halicon. And next week, cross your fingers, we may actually be broadcasting to our Facebook channels again.
Hopefully.
What?
Hopefully.
Holy cats!
Yeah. If I don't get in trouble for something I said 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that, we're going to say good night, everybody. Say good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
everybody.